Welcome to video 3 of acceptance. Let's check this out. We want to talk about something that's pretty important. We want to talk about what doesn't deserve your acceptance. This is a big one because the reality with it is there are so many people that think they must and feel that they have to do certain things, have to accept certain things. But there's so many things that doesn't deserve our acceptance. And when we get clarity on what doesn't deserve our acceptance, then we start caring about the right stuff. So let's talk about that. One of the things that doesn't deserve our acceptance is other people that feel we need to do better. If you wouldn't trade places with them, then their opinions are simply subjective or objective. It means they aren't adding value to your life, but attempting to control you. Don't allow this. Don't allow this. If you wouldn't trade places, listen, look at it like this. Are you listening to me right now? You having a good time, right? Are we drinking water, right? Do you respect the words that I'm saying? Do you appreciate what I'm saying, what I'm doing, what I'm creating for you, what I'm up to? Do you see the value behind what I am doing with you? How you and I are moving forward together? Then you would probably take what I say accordingly, right? You add value. I only have value if you add value. So you look at this. If someone is telling you to do something and you wouldn't trade places with them, even if they have extensive information into that, then they're not valuable to you. Therefore, the information they're going to share with you isn't going to help you. You don't have to accept that. You don't even have to accept what I'm saying right now. You got to understand this. Like, the reality of this is, if you do not value that person's perspective and value that person in your life, if that person isn't actively helping you move forward, then they're simply stating their opinion. So look at that. Their opinion only holds weight if you allow it to hold weight. The only information that matters from someone that thinks you should do better is if it actually applies to you. If it doesn't apply to you, then they're simply literally attempting to add value but failing. It's not you don't have to accept that information, but accept the information for what it is. It's just information. You don't have to do anything with the information. You don't have to respond to be rude and be like, no, you don't know what you don't have to do that. That's a choice too, to have that reaction. You don't have to do that. Your emotions are a choice. But also, I want you to understand that just because someone's trying to help you out and you don't like them, it also doesn't mean that they're not actually actively adding value to your life. You've got to weigh that information out. And the truth is, once again, that goes back to the last point. If it doesn't feel right to you, then it's really not for you. I'll drink to that. Let's drink. Check this out. You ready for this? Here we go. Another thing that doesn't deserve your acceptance. You do not have to accept other people's feelings. Their feelings are not yours to process. Everyone's emotions from their own understanding of themselves. Everyone processes emotions from their own understanding of themselves. Most people project their feelings onto you in hopes that you will validate theirs. Don't allow this. Just because someone has a feeling does not mean you have to care. You don't have to give a flying at all. That's their feelings. This is like saying, hey, you're messing with my self-esteem. It's called self-esteem. I can mess with your esteem. I can't even do that. I can influence you, and it's up to you to take it whichever way you're going to take it. I can't force you to take the information in a healthy way. I can only deliver the information in a healthy way. Depending on how healthy you are, you're going to take that information and do something with it. A lot of people have these feelings because they're processing them in an unhealthy way, such as alcoholics, such as people who have been under the bottle. They literally, if you know, I know the feeling, you process the information when you're under the influence and you go, it deserves this response, it deserves this reaction. I don't like that, and because I'm drinking, I'm going to respond, and you do this, and then you drink more, and then it solidifies, and all that stuff. That's unhealthy. That's an unhealthy way of looking at life. That's an unhealthy way of living life, because the information is actually there, right? But their feelings are their feelings. And a perfect example is, like, the girls will come through the house, or someone will be having this dramatic emotional response, and then they'll get mad at me because I don't care as much as they do. I don't care. I don't. I refuse to care about what they care about because it doesn't directly impact me. That doesn't mean I don't care about them. I care about them immensely. I care about them so much that I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'll be there for them. I'm not going to sacrifice myself, but I'm not going to cry because you are. Actually, I don't need to apply my emotions like that for you to know that I care. And just because they have an emotional response doesn't mean that I have to have one. I'm not obligated to have an emotional response. Same with you. Just because someone's upset with you doesn't mean you have to care. That's their problem. It's their problem. Now, if you're in a position when you're causing a problem, then obviously you've got to take at least semi-responsibility for that, regardless of how healthy you are. If you're drinking, dude, you did it. Just accept it. If you're not, then once again, you have to take accountability for your contribution to their feeling. Most people are going to blame other people for their feelings. I feel this way. You made me feel like this. Wrong. Absolutely 100% incorrect. The feeling that you have listening to me right now, I'm not forcing you to feel anything. Those are your emotions. You and I can talk about them later. I'm not going to feel the way you feel because I'm not the same person. You're taking this information in based on how you've programmed yourself to process this data. Depending on your information, depending on your circumstances, depending on your environment, depending on your trauma or whatever else, that's going to change the way you listen to the words that fall out of my face. What you do with that information is a whole nother conversation. Super duper powerful. Just because someone cares, it doesn't mean you do, or you have to. The blame from anyone else. You do not have to accept the blame from anyone else. If you did it, own it. It's not your responsibility or obligation to accept the blame on behalf of something or someone else. Holding yourself accountable to what's yours eliminates any potential blame from them. You're right, man. I did it. I did. It's the bully effect. You're right. You're absolutely right. When you accept it, they can't say anything else. Everything after the acceptance, that's all on them. You did your part. This is the problem with guilt. We'll talk about guilt and all that stuff in Module 4 when we go back to the future. But the point with that, you don't have to accept the blame. Just because you think it's my fault, and just because you could point all these things out, doesn't mean I have to accept the fact that it happened. If I did it, I'll own it. But if I didn't do it, I'm not taking responsibility at all. Just because you can't take accountability for your actions and you want to blame them on me doesn't mean I have to accept that information. Don't do that. You don't even have to listen to me right now. I'm just highly encouraging you not to take the blame for things that other people probably did, like their emotions. You made me feel like this. Wrong. You allowed yourself to feel like that. You chose to feel like this. The way you feel right now, hanging out with me. You see, I'm about to take this water. Are you thinking about it? I'm thinking about it. Right? Drink water. It's up to you if you want to do it. We're going to do it. It's up to you whether or not you take the blame. The point is that a healthy person, someone like you, is going to look at the information objectively and go, did I actually cause this? Or is someone having their own reaction to something I said or did? Listen to what I'm saying with this. This is this is gonna be a stupid example. When I walk through the house, I'm the loudest thing in the house because it's dead quiet. I just want some cereal. This person who's sleeping is going, "You're so loud." I'm not actually loud. I'm very quiet. Very quiet. It's just there's no other sounds. So you're upset that you're awake, not that I'm loud. I'm not going to be upset that you're yelling at me because you're trying to sleep. Get it? I'm not going to allow that information to mess with me because I'm the loudest sound in the house. I'm not loud. And when they say this, you're loud, I get it. When I'm yelling like this, I'm amplified and the volume is spiked, but I'm not a loud person. So I'm not going to allow those words to really affect me. Be like, I understand you feel that I'm loud. I got it. That's your feeling. You're upset because you're trying to sleep. I'm still not loud. I don't have to take the blame. You see how that works? So many people are trained to go, this is what I don't like. This is the problem. This is the issue. This is the reason why it won't work. This is the reason why I'm upset. And it's your actions. More people will be upset with me from doing nothing as they will for me doing something. It's the same. Unhealthy people process information in an unhealthy way. So you don't have to take the blame from them every single time. Just own up to what's yours. And then everything else just kind of falls into place. Let's move forward. You don't have to accept pressure from people we wouldn't trade places with. We talked about this a minute ago. There's nothing to gain by giving into something that isn't moving us forward, you forward. Drinking, drugs, emotions. If you don't truly value their lifestyle, protect your health and happiness. Look at this, man. This goes for like trolls. Think of them like trolls. If somebody is just like pressuring you or saying you should do this, you should try this, you should do this, and they're constantly invading your space, people that want to see you win are going to subtly suggest instead of force you to do things. If we've got to force something, we're doing it wrong. If someone is actively working on making us change, then they're not helping us shift. We need to subtly transform into who we actually are. Those people, those trolls, those friends, those toxic human beings are not looking out for our best interests if they're trying to pressure us into doing something. I don't want you to think that because a family member that you dislike doesn't have the best intentions. I want you to understand this. Some of the most catastrophic things that ever happened in the world were done with the best intentions. I'm gonna drink to that. You drinking? You drinking? We're drinking. Are you almost done? We're going. Let's do this. Sit with that for a second. Damn, think about that. Some of the worst things that have ever happened in the world were done with the best intentions. I just wanted the best for them. Is that why you hit me? Is that why you did that? You hurt me the most because you loved me the most? It was the best intentions? We got to remember this. Even if that's the situation, we didn't ask for that. You didn't ask for that. That's not something you created. We'll talk about this later. Does it happen to you or happen for you? Technically, it's both. We're going to cover that in Module 3, right? Super duper powerful information. So I want you to remember this. If that person doesn't hold a gold star or can be respected in the world you choose to live in the ways that you live in, then they don't have to be accepted by you. Absolute facts. Healthy boundaries is where I'm going with this. Last one, rules, regulations, requirements, or fragile egos. Ugh. Most things are guidelines backed with a strong emotional connection. Just because someone feels strongly about something they don't like doesn't mean you have to accept it. Really? That's how you feel? Think about this. So many people, we look at like the older generation. Look at our parents, okay? Would our parents really approve of everything that we're doing? Everything. They have their own perspective on what right and wrong is, what good and bad is. Listen to this. There's no such thing as good and bad or right and wrong. That's your perspective. So many people think I'm killing people by saying you can be happy and don't have to identify as an alcoholic or someone with a bad habit. They're going, no, you're forever broken. If you do not practice this forever broken mentality, this closed loop thinking, you're killing people. That's what they're telling me. What are you talking about? That's their belief. That's their conditioning. They've created rules. They have a book dedicated, just like the Bible, no problems with any of that, but just like the Bible, it's called the book. These are things you can and cannot do, right and wrong, and all this stuff, and conditioning, and all the science, and all this. But what are you talking about? Just because you have an emotional connection to the thing you believe is right and wrong doesn't mean it actually is. It's up to me. It's up to you to decide whether or not it's right or wrong. If the information you're presenting to me, if what I'm saying to you right now feels wrong, that's not your fault. That's something that you're going, I've been conditioned to think this. Oh, I've been thinking this my whole life. Right. Now we're challenging your mind to think in another way. We're speaking to the person back here. I don't expect you to understand it. I don't expect you to have results right now. You are. You have a ton of results already. I'm so proud of you. Goodness, great. I'm drinking to that. Okay, we drinking. You ready? We're drinking. Programming. Let's do it. Word. Becoming an X already. Right? Rules, regulations, requirements. These are guidelines, man. Obviously, there's the law. Don't do that stuff. Don't break things. Don't hurt people. Don't do this stuff. You know what makes sense. You're a human being. If you're here, you know that you've been doing something the wrong way because you've been hurt by it. You know that what they said is wrong because it hurts people. If it's not helping someone, it's probably hurting someone. If it's something as dumb as opening the door for other people, we don't do those things so we can get a thank you. We do it because it's decent behavior. We do it because we're good people. We expect nothing in return. Doing something like that is helping someone. It's the right thing to do. Doesn't mean you have to do it every time, but just recognizing it that that's a healthy thing to do. That's what nice people do. That's what happy people do. Happy people open doors for other people. They expect nothing. Happy people think about other people. How do you think we're here? Happy people think about themselves. That's what you're working on. You're happy. You are. It may not feel like it, but you are. At your core. No matter how bubbly or weird or conditioned you might feel, you're happy at your core. We're just unraveling, just unpacking all those things that might be blinding you from how angelic you actually are. How amazing you are. What have you done? Look at what you've done. These are the things that happy and healthy people do and are going to continue to do. And I'm so proud of you. Before I go on to the next video, we're going to drink one more time. Get your water. You don't have it. Here you go. Perfect. All right, we're going to move on to the next video.